Survival drill exposes Deathworlders' complete lack of fear. The survival fields of the Galactic Academy stretched for kilometers in every direction. Simulated environments could morph in an instant: Arctic wastelands, desert dunes, fungal jungles, or deep ocean abyssal plains. To pass the final test of their first term, cadets had to survive 48 hours within these shifting biomes with only a standard-issue survival kit. It was meant to be terrifying. It was meant to humble them. No one expected it would instead expose something far more terrifying: the humans' inability to fear what should have reduced others to trembling wrecks. Arrival at the drill. The cadets gathered on the staging platform. Hovercraft hissed, dropping off supply crates and training drones. Instructor Virek, a towering reptilian with scarred scales and one cybernetic eye, loomed over them. His voice came through a modulator, gravelly and sharp. Listen well, cadets. This drill is not a simulation. The predators are real, the toxins are real, and the storms are real. 48 hours. No contact with base. Fail, and you are expelled. Survive, and you prove yourselves worthy. Several cadets shifted nervously. A Zelvani's antennae drooped. A Trillax licked their membrane lips nervously. Even the Vor warrior Koresh clenched his tusks tighter than usual. At the back of the formation, however, stood the humans. 3 of them this year. They wore the same fatigues as everyone else, packs slung lazily over shoulders. Instead of nervous glances, they exchanged smirks. One of them, Cadet Alyssa Grant, actually yawned. Virek's eye narrowed. Something amusing, Cadet Grant. Alyssa shrugged. Just reminds me of summer camp back home. 48 hours is kind of short, though. The amphitheater went silent. Dropped into the wild. The biomes randomized. This cycle, a fungal swamp mixed with carnivorous flora and a population of razor-shelled skelkryn beasts. Rain fell in acidic sheets, forcing cadets to use protective cloaks. Within minutes, panic began. The Zelvani struggled to cross the sucking mud, each step sinking dangerously. A Trillax shrieked as a skelkryn ambushed their group, its serrated carapace snapping. Vor cadets roared and formed a defensive wedge. Meanwhile, the humans moved with unnerving calm. Alyssa stabbed her staff into the mud, testing depth. Step here, not there, she told her squadmates. It's like a bog. You just spread your weight. Another human, Marcus Hale, knelt by a patch of luminescent fungi and sniffed. Not toxic. Smells like oyster mushrooms. Bet these are edible. An alien cadet gawked. You're eating swamp fungus? That's suicidal. Marcus popped one into his mouth, chewed, and grinned. Better than ration bars. By nightfall, the aliens were huddled in damp shelters, jumpy at every sound. The humans, however, had built a fire. Somehow they'd found dry tinder in a swamp. They laughed, roasted fungus, and told stories. The fear gap. Day 2 broke with disaster. A massive skelkryn pack swept through the swamp, driving cadets screaming into the deeper marsh. Instructor Virek watched from the hidden command station, frowning. Cadets should scatter and attempt concealment. That was the lesson: stealth, silence, avoiding predators stronger than yourself. The humans had a different idea. Instead of fleeing, Alyssa leapt onto a fallen log and yelled, "Hey! Over here!" The pack of skelkryn, each one 3 meters of serrated rage, turned toward her. Every alien thought she had gone insane. But her squad mates didn't hesitate. Marcus hefted a sharpened branch like a spear. Naomi Reyes grinned, baring her teeth in a predator's smile. And then they charged. The swamp exploded with violence. Humans vaulted through the muck, using fallen trees as springboards. They fought in coordinated bursts, stabbing eyes, smashing carapaces with rocks, kicking vulnerable joints. Alyssa hauled one beast's jaws apart with sheer muscle until the shell cracked. The Vor cadets, apex predators themselves, froze in shock. This was suicide. And yet, the humans didn't stop. They fought like they were born for it, laughing through blood and mud. When the pack finally broke and scattered, 3 Skelkrin lay dead. The rest fled. The humans wiped slime from their faces, breathing hard but grinning. That was fun, Naomi said. Better than the gym. Alien reactions. That night, huddled in shelters, the non-human cadets whispered furiously. They are insane, hissed Zelvani. No being should seek predators. They didn't even flinch, muttered a Trillax. No fear, no hesitation. They broke the rules of the drill, snarled Koresh the Vor. But even his voice held unease. Predators are to be respected. Not toyed with. One of the humans overheard and laughed. Alyssa poked her head into their shelter. You guys are looking at it wrong. Where we come from, if something hunts you, you fight back. Fear just slows you down. Her words chilled them more than the acid rain. The instructors debate. Back at command, the instructors argued heatedly. They violated protocol, one insisted. No, countered another. They survived. Efficiently. That was the point. They turned the drill into a battlefield. Or perhaps, Virek rumbled, the battlefield is what they turn every environment into. He remembered Alyssa's yawn at the briefing. 48 hours of simulated horror, barely enough to amuse her. The final hours. The swamp grew harsher. Acid rain intensified. The fungi released choking spores. Exhaustion hit cadets hard. Zelvani twitched in fever dreams. Trillax curled into shells. Even the Vor showed strain. And yet the humans pressed forward tirelessly. They hauled weaker cadets on makeshift stretchers, forded rivers while carrying 2 others each, and foraged without hesitation. A storm ripped through the swamp on the final night. Wind uprooted trees, lightning set fungi ablaze. Screams echoed as shelters collapsed. Instructors expected chaos. Instead, they saw the humans standing tall in the storm, rain lashing their faces, arms spread as if welcoming the fury. Alyssa shouted encouragement to the others, voice cutting through thunder. Stand up. You can't let fear own you. Move. And incredibly, many cadets did. Inspired not by their own instincts, but by the sheer reckless certainty of the humans. Extraction. At the 48-hour mark, dropships descended. Cadets stumbled aboard, broken, bruised, traumatized. Except for the humans. They walked up the ramp still laughing, coated in mud and blood but with eyes bright. Virek met them with his usual grim expression. You treated my survival drill as recreation. Alyssa gave a lopsided grin. Sir, where we're from, this was recreation. The other cadets shivered. They had glimpsed something they couldn't unsee, a species that did not fear predators, storms, or death itself. A species for whom survival was not a desperate struggle, but second nature. Epilogue. The report spread quickly. Deathworlder cadets completed survival drill without measurable stress response. Displayed inappropriate calm in high mortality scenarios. Recommend reassessment of human psychology. To the cadets who survived alongside them, it was simpler than that. Humans weren't fearless because they lacked fear. They were fearless because they'd learned to stare it down and smile. And that made them the most terrifying beings in the galaxy.